Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line, and your right palm on your left. Slowly and gently close your eyes, please, and focus your mind to this bell sound. So while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, relax your breathing with your thoughts. Do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, in these ongoing meditation sessions, we mainly try to give some informations regarding tranquility meditation and vipassana meditation. So, when it comes to the subject of meditation, it is the word itself is giving a huge meaning. And just relaxing your mind, calming your body, and even reflecting on something and gaining your desires and finding the success in your life, this all nowadays related to meditation. But when it comes to the early Buddhism, the main purpose was self-realization. So when it comes to self, recognizing who I am, who is this body, head to toes, this body, how this happened. And rather than looking for the beginning, through the meditation, it try to take you to recognize how how this happening, this moment by moment. And once you recognize your form, feeling, sensation, and recognition, the connection, and from there, you can see how to maintain this properly, and when you need, how you can get out of this. So that is vipassana level. But getting to that, there is a basic foundation you need, which we call Samatha meditation. There are some people, they can get into the vipassana level of practice without any Samatha practice. But basically, we start with the Samatha meditation. So what is Samatha meditation or tranquility meditation? Tranquility meditation means you bring your mind to one primary mental object. So this is the mechanism of mind. Mind come out of thoughts. Your each and every thought has a tranquility state. It doesn't matter good or bad, right or wrong, profitable or unprofitable. That whatever thoughts is, each thought has this fundamental quality called tranquility state. So even in day-to-day life, watching a TV, listening to music, and even having your lunch or dinner or breakfast, eating something, or to associate someone, even to think something, the deeply, each and every thought needs this tranquility state. So the thing is, this always jumping here and there. maybe reflecting on past, or maybe projecting towards future. That is the thought pattern we used to have in our life, comparing something to past or comparing something to future. And because of that, we miss the present moment of this existence. So the tranquility state slowly try to bring your mind to the present moment. And another way it called collective awareness. Why it called collective awareness? Because once you focus with the clear intention, once you bring your attention to the one point, that all the thoughts start to move to that one point direction in a certain level, that all the thoughts come as one, because that all the awareness, that each every scattered awareness that start to come together and settle down in one point. So once you have come to that moment, what will happen? Your thoughts not going to depend on past or the future. You're going to settle down with the present moment. Once the thought detached from the past and the future, there is no way that the greed, hatred, or the delusion can happen. There is no way any unprofitable thoughts can happen in you. So if you look very carefully, whatever the disappointment, angry, sad, worry, lust, this all the unprofitable, this all the disturbed thoughts come with the help of past and the future. So in the present moment in your mind, there is no sadness, or there is no joy or happy or uh, worry, something like that. It is just a moment. So how about if you able to get your mind to that point? So that is the tranquility state. Another way we call this chitta bhavana. Why? Because you work with the thoughts. And another way it called that tranquility meditation. It helps to tranquilize you mind. And another way it called one-pointedness. Why it called one-pointedness? Because mind always scattered and your thoughts everywhere. And now you bring everything to one point. So for this, we take our inhalation, exhalation as a primary mental object. Why we take it that way? Because we need something that related to the present moment. So this is your inhalation, exhalation is one of the best object that you can use to settle down your mind. So we focus in front of our nose and upper lip area, not anywhere else. Some people practice with the belly, shoulder, chest, so like that. But we mainly come to this. Why we focus to this place? Because catching the sensation in this place is very difficult. It is not easy uh, because it is very sharp. And you have to have the very clear mind to get into this. And if you can get into this sensation, the other any sensation you can catch very easily. So this is kind of like this. We try the highest. And maybe that will take some times. But if you keep getting to the highest place, and then deeply, your awareness going to become more sharp and clear. So as example, if the belly area, look at this belly area, the surface level is big. Very easily you can catch the sensation or the movement. And sometimes once you settle down there, for some people, not for each all, for some people, they cannot sharp the mind. They just they mostly stuck with the surface level of movement. They cannot get into the bottom level of the change, understand the change. So that's why we go to the highest, and keep practice, keep practice. So once you get into the sensation and following the sensation, you recognize the change. And in the beginning, you recognize the character or the behavior of the inhalation, exhalation. So sometimes you see inhalation, exhalation, long, short, heavy. So this kind of, you're going to see many details. But in the beginning, you don't see that anything. So this is what happening. Now you recognize the inhalation, exhalations become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, like that. And sometimes you feel it's kind of, your mind is solid and sharp, and your mind is to stay in one place and you're observing something. So this is what happening when you this is the inhalation and exhalation, you observe from here, and then now you see inhalation, exhalation, and then later you start to recognize the beginning to end, entire continuation. So like that way, and then sometimes it become longer, shorter, heavy. So you see all the details here. But remember that this is your consciousness or the awareness, invisibly, unknowingly, what is happening when you keep focus, your consciousness change. This inhalation, exhalation, it always happen. It has a natural process. But to recognize that all the change happening there, your awareness change. According to the condition of your mind, this is going to change. That is the most important part you have to understand. As example, so in the beginning you don't see sometimes inhalation, no exhalation. But if you keep focus, then what will happen? Then you're going to recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation. See, it was there, but according to the condition of your mind, what you see going to change. And sometimes then it becomes sharp, then it becomes longer, and it becomes soft, and it becomes heavy, warm. So always, each and every inhalation, exhalation has these details. It is different moment to moment. But why you didn't see it? Because the condition of your mind is different. But when you keep practice, what is happening? You start to recognize your mind change. The inhalation, exhalation, it will have it happen to each and every human being. But now you're going to see something because you sharpen your mind, you clean your mind. So deeply, when the mind become more clear and able to get connected to the exactly the present moment, we call it the flow. Once you get into the flow, that means the inhalation, exhalation always in a process, naturally happening. There is a natural rhythm. So once you get connected to that, your mind not going to jump to past or the future. You moment by moment go with the flow. In that very moment, what will happen? Your mind start to get released from all the 5 hindrances. So greed, the self-centered desire related to objects looking for satisfaction, kama chanda, and the vyapada, this the anger or the hatred or the revenge or looking for that the resistance, you release from that also. And sloth and torpor, laziness, tiredness, lethargic, the physical, mental, lethargic nature, you start to release from that also. And the comparison related to you and looking here and there, and that also going to go away. Another thing is the doubt regarding yourself and regarding your own life, regarding the whatever you practice, it's going to disappear. So once the mind released from four elements, once the mind released from five hindrance, what will happen? Then there is the mind start to settle down with the dhyana or the high mental powers, absorption. So our purpose is not settling down there. So we want to go more deeper because our path is go towards the vipassana. So what is this vipassana? Vipassana means the recognition of your existence, the recognition of your very being itself. What is this moment of existence? So to get into that, you have the four mental practice, four foundations. You can get in any ways you can get this. So one is your physical body. Your physical body always in the present moment. Your physical body, you cannot reflect that the with the past. So whatever you recognize with the physical body, it always going to be in the present moment. So you are sitting, walking, so whatever the posture or whatever physical activities, you slowly observe and be with it. You become mindful with the whatever you do, and at the same time you recognize the body. Another one is the feelings or the sensation, and wherever whatever the sensation arise, and you slowly observe it without interfering to it, without having in that inner conversation, you just observe it. Another one is the chittanupassana, kayanupassana, vedananupassana. The third one, chittanupassana. So the chittanupassana means observing the thought pattern, how these thoughts happening, the moment by moment, how this thought arising and disappearing. And then you see that sometimes thoughts come as a reason in the moment. Some thought arise without any reason. So that recognition is very important. And all whatever the thoughts come, it stay for a moment and then disappear. Some thoughts disappear, completely disappear if you don't react. And that thoughts, whatever come to you, it arise, but it never going to hold any responsibility regarding anything. It just arises as a result of the necessary conditions. So once you recognize that, you're not going to be so crazy regarding whatever the thought arises. You just take it as a thought. But if you start to reflect on it, get into that thought and start to think again and again, what will happen? You can be sad, worry, unhappy, or you can be happy, joyful. You can feel the pleasure, so like that. These all thoughts. Remember, whatever you experience in conventional life, everything, everything thoughts. That's it. If you can just recognize that, it's a you can change that your life for a huge direction. It's not a small change. You can completely change to different direction once you recognize this everything thoughts. If you hold it, that holding nature going to bring some kind of result. If you not hold it, and it going to go, and it not going to disappear. What is the vipassana level? It going to go, and but there is a reason keep coming thoughts. So little by when you don't react to thoughts, and Dhammanupassana, the phenomena or the very nature, the four elements, and the change happening moment by moment. So reflect on that. And that way, that the deeper attachment start to release, like we getting old, no one doing it. And even when you eat, after you put the food to your mouth, from there your digestive system, blood circular system, nerve system, this everything happen not naturally, automatically. So just imagine there is a pattern, there is a natural behavior, and we get old, and the sickness, disease come to us. That is the very natural behavior. and the death, getting old and death. This all happen as a natural behavior. So this all related to Dhamma. And why this all happened? Because of the four elements. This everything came out of the four elements. So once you recognize these things, once you see it through your own mind, what will happen? The mind start to detach from the desires. The mind settle down there. Once the mind settle down, you start to become very clear with the moment of experience. So moment of experience can happen out of six faculties. What are those six faculties? Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. So those are the six places that all the information can come, perception can happen. There's no any other place. So then it's kind of like a period. You just only six, that's it. So once you settle down with that, what will happen? All the perception come to you. You can see in that very moment. So like someone entering through the doors. You can recognize it very moment when something come to your ears, eye, nose, tongue, when the taste touch your tongue, so you can recognize that. So you work with the six faculties, nothing else. So that all the first experience we call form or the rupa or the form. Why it called form? It because format. It came out of something. That's why it called form. That's why the very meaning of the rupa is the Pali word. That's mean change. So whatever the pictures or the appearance, anything. So it all called rupa. The rupa means that there are six kind of rupa or the forms. Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. So whatever you see through your eyes, that also form or the rupa. Whatever you hear as sound, that also rupa. The smell, that also rupa. That the taste, that also rupa. Why it called rupa? Another way. Because that first experience come and it deeply going to your consciousness, and from there it has ability to manifest, project something inside you. It has not only the whatever you see through your eyes has that ability. Just imagine that the way when you hear a song, that you're not going to hear that the whatever you're hearing, you're not going to just enjoy only the sound. While you're hearing the sound, what will happen inside? It's deeply start to manifest something in you. The smell. That the smell, it enter through the nose, but once it go inside, your awareness or the consciousness, it start to get in the same way like your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, whatever the way it comes. So even though it entered through different faculty, once it go inside, do the same job. It all become like, it's like the seven rivers, six rivers come to the ocean, that all the ocean water become kind of like salty, that you cannot find from which party. That's why you can get angry seeing something, and you can get angry by hearing, and you can get angry through smell, you can get angry through the taste, you can get angry through associating somebody, and you can get angry by thinking. See that the same anger, but it has power, that whatever the perception come, that maybe that perception has power to ignite the same nature. So when it go to inside you, you have only three kind of the nature to tame. So the greed, hatred, and the delusion. So this it become easy when you go deeper, say in the six faculties and six perception, and once it go deeper, it become one and activate three things: greed, hatred, and the delusion mainly. And once you become very clear with the first place, so this is the ability that you gain out of the vipassana practice. You gain the ability to separate name and form. So that's mean whatever you experience in the moment when you see something beautiful, of course there is a beauty that come to your eye, and at the same time there is something come and mix from your inside. You can separately recognize this. What is you see outside, what coming from inside. And the sound, you can separately recognize. You can do it. If you cannot do it, I cannot tell it like this way. So that's mean that any human being can do this. So remember, whatever you hear, you can separately recognize the sound coming from outside, and it just coming from outside, nothing can do. But there is something it mixed with inside. Then the drama start. So you can recognize it, your consciousness, once you be aware, that is where the vipassana practice is important. So you can recognize the sound coming from outside and what you mix it to from inside. Smell the same. You can separately recognize what is the smell coming from outside and what you mix from inside. Taste the same. You can recognize what is the taste coming from outside, because there is a taste outside. You cannot tell that everything mind. No, there is something outside. That is why it called the world. So whatever I can taste and you also can taste. Even in the future, if we cook it in the same ingredient and the same menu, after 100 years, if the human being same like us, they also can get the same taste. So like that, there is something outside exist. Otherwise, it is just not only the mind. But the thing is this, just that outside things cannot do anything to us. It has a power, but at the same time, there is something we need from inside. So when you practice vipassana, you're going to recognize what you add from inside. And the sensation, the same. Association, people, the same. They are away, but at the same time, there is something coming from your inside. The mind, the same. In the moment, thoughts arise, but at the same time, there is something you add from inside. This separation, once you get this separation, remember, half of the journey you done. So to get into that, you have to have the vipassana knowledge. That's why you have to get out of the five aggregates, five hindrance. And once you get out of the five hindrance, and then you can recognize, and then you have to recognize very clearly the faculties, and you have to understand how the things come, the perception happen out of the faculties, and then you can see what you add from inside. Once you come to that, so whatever the things happening, then you can recognize form, feeling, sensation, formation, recognition. Whatever experience come, finally you come to recognize three details, fundamentals: arising, existing, disappearing. Arising, existing, disappearing. If you don't hold, it arises completely, itself new, exist for a moment and disappear completely, disappear. Nothing going to remain from that, the moment you experience. But once you hold, that holding part can clinging to something, clinging to something. That is what called the samsara. So that is the bottom line. So when a thought arises, remember, if you don't catch it, if you don't hold it, and if you had the wisdom to recognize that from where that thoughts came, that is mean seeing the sanskara. Otherwise, not just having the keeping the blind spot and allowing, oh, whatever thoughts come, it let it go. No, that doesn't teach in vipassana level. You go and see the roots. Once you see the roots, and that seeing itself is the solution for your sanskara. So once you see it from where it come, it never going to come again from that point. So like that way, once you deeply have the purity within your own thoughts, what will happen when a thought arises? Now you don't hold it to that. You don't not clinging to that. When the thought arises, itself, it disappear 100 totally 100% it disappear. It never going to leave anything there. Then you no need to do anything. See, you, that is where you completely become free. Now look yourself, you always need to do something. Even tranquility state, once you come to the tranquility state, you no need to do anything, but still the sanskara is there. So that's why you have to go to the vipassana level and uproot it. Once you uproot that, you no need to do anything. Just the thought arise itself, it disappear. Arise itself till this with the body remain, these things will happen. And after the body die, because the thought arise and itself it disappear, then there is no reason to become. So that is the mechanism. So you can experience in this very moment. You don't need to die to experience that. How you can experience that? So just come to the inhalation, exhalation in the present moment. Just look. Your body inhale and exhale according to necessary conditions. You are not inhaling or exhaling. Just experience it, and without disturbing or without holding, just allow your body to inhale and exhale. Basically, in primary level, try to learn that, to experience without holding, without disturbing, without judging, without interfering. That conventional experience will slowly open you once you qualified with that. So it's kind of like if you want to run for Olympic, you cannot just go to Olympic tomorrow. Then what you have to do, maybe you have to go to council and start to run there and play there, and then you have to apply for the city and maybe state. Then you have to practice with them, and then you have to qualify there. So like that, to go to national level, to international level, there is a process. The same person, but you expand. The same kind of game you keep doing, but you become more and more and more and profitable, the skillful. The same way, remember, you observe in tranquility state, your inhalation, exhalation, and you recognize the change. That recognition itself will help you to deeply understand that what you experience with this inhalation, exhalation, without interference, it itself happens. When it comes to this entire, just try to catch it. Just catching is enough for you for now. Whatever happened with this entire your inhalation, exhalation in the moment, you no need to do anything. It itself happens. And when the inhalation happens, you feel life. When the exhalation happens, you feel life. When inhalation happens, you feel comfort. Exhalation happens, you feel the same comfort. Then there's nothing to do. It happened. And how about when it comes to this entire universe, there is deeply something that you just need to surrender to that. Then there's a point come, oh, then we no need to do anything in life. No, once you recognize that deeper, The philosophy within your, the deeper, the low within your own mind, dealing with this material world, dealing with this conventional world, is become totally different, and it become more easy, and you're not going to get disturbed out of it, and it become more profitable for you and for others. So that's why the first try to gain that quality to your mind, and then try to deal with the world. What we does, we try to deal with the world and try to bring that worldly nature to inside us. No, first you practice with your mind and recognize how the mind behave, and once you recognize that, apply that principle to the world. So that is where you can experience something. So let's get into practice a little bit. Your right palm on your left, and neck get straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. Scan head to toes 3 times yourself and say Sopatveva O, may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge in this moment with this sitting. May my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalations and exhalations. So in the beginning, bring your attention to in front of your nose and your upper lip area. Deeply and gently breathe in, breathe out 3 times, please. And find the sensation. Just allow your inhalation, exhalations happen itself. And when it happens, recognize this is inhalations, this is exhalations. Do nothing extra. Keep your attention to the sensation, please. Observe whole breath body from beginning to end, knowingly this is the beginning, this is the end. Bring attention to the change. Just be with it and recognize. Follow the change happening moment by moment with the sensation of your inhalation and exhalation. So now you open your all six faculties, your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. Allow all the perception to come inside. So always remember that when the one perception going to be strong at one time. So moment by moment, see whatever perception come to you and separately recognize. You can keep your eyes closed. Whatever you hear, smell, bodily sensation in mind. So whatever thought arise or sensation arise, without holding to it, separately try to experience. Bring attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars, reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light to your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, there are a group of children went to play into the beach, and while they playing on the beach, and they create sand castles. So they creating sand castles, and each and everyone start to become happy regarding them. They start to appreciate their friends. Then what happened suddenly? One child by mistake hit his leg and broken someone another one child sand castle. Oh, then that child got mad. They both start to get fight. And then while the fight happening, everybody gathered around and start to tell, you are right, you are right, you wrong, you right, like that. Everybody arguing, and that two children fighting, and other children gathered and start to help to, and they separate and help to their friend. By the time what happened, there was a big wave came and start to hit all the sand castles, that everything washed away. Everybody stop fighting, arguments, and start to look and laugh and jump and laughing and enjoying what happened. So when it come to our life, we also like that. In day-to-day life, when something happened to us, we hold it sometimes personally, we argue about it, we fight about it. But when it come to end of the day, look how that this life account going to be balanced. And by the nature, this everything going to balance one day. But more the moment we feel difficult, hard, tired, worried, unhappy, sad, it come out of mostly because of our inner behavior. It come because of we deeply hold it with the self-centered mind. It is not easy. Why? It is not easy because through this eons by eons, through this samsaric journey, we used to do that way. That's why it is very difficult. That's why it is very hard to do. But when it comes to human life, that who you are today, remember, you are so capable. Look at the world. People can get a wild horse and they can run it very fast the way they want and whatever the direction they want. And look at the elephants, giant elephants. People bring them and with the tiny rope or the chain, put it to their leg, and they can maintain this huge elephant. And for in the ancient time, they used to do it for the war and to do this huge, this the big constructions and for traveling like that. And look at the tigers and look at the very wild lions, and sometimes people able to make them kind of like a cat and they play with it. And look at the snake, and very dangerous, very poisonous, but people able to, you know, play the music and allow that the snake to dance. Look at the monkeys sometimes, and people use these monkeys to pour different things. And look at these wild cows, and from the ancient time people able to handle these cows, and they use it and for their farming and for their traveling. So like that, when we look at the world, we have so much abilities to develop things, transform things from this outside world. But we still have a struggle to how we can transform ourselves. We can transform the giant elephants, tigers, very dangerous animals, lions, wild horses, but still, the person who ever living inside us, the mechanism of inside us, we couldn't transform it to the way we want. And it has its own nature, it has its own behavior. Then just think yourself, tomorrow, where are your life going to end? Because this opportunity that you have as a human being to end this all, it just take only 1 second. Any time it can disappear. It doesn't take much time, but still you have that. Not only that, that the Buddha's teaching, it is very rare. It's not going to happen all the time. There are times come, it's kind of like a dark age. It's like the human mind is like a black hole. They don't see anything good, any good outside world. So they cannot absorb, they cannot get it. Because when the light come to black hole, the light kill. So like that, when the wisdom come to their mind, it cannot come in that way. It transform to, to something else. But you are not like that. You are in a timeline that it is you have done great meritorious act to be in this human world like this time. And you have the Buddha's teaching, and you have the very healthy human life, and at the same time you have ability to hear it. There are a lot of people, they don't have that ability to hear. They according to the place wherever they are, this cannot reach to them. This teaching cannot go there because they are so separate. There are places come kind of like you cannot help for even for they somewhere, you know, they live there, you cannot help. So like that, there are people live this even though teachings exist, these teachings cannot reach to them, like the cell phone signals. You know, there are places even in around your area, you will see there are places that signals cannot go reach to that level. Maybe you go underground, or maybe you are around the mountains, so the signals cannot reach. So same like these teachings cannot hear to everybody. Remember that. If you hear it, that means you have done a great meritorious act in your samsaric journey. So then get the best out of this moment. When you get the best out of this moment, you have to develop the skills towards that. So that is what called kusalata, kaushalya. So the kaushalya means profitable skills. So always you have to remember, when it comes to life, there are certain things called profitable and unprofitable. So the profitable means whatever out of your bodily, verbally and mentally actions, whatever you do, when it become a reaction, it never going to bring you unhappiness, sadness, worry, disappointment. So that kind of things. It always bring you the comfort. People like to do that. But there, that more than the becoming profitable, there is something today I want to mention. And we have some unprofitable skills also. Just being profitable is important. And at the same time, you have to remember, whatever that unprofitable skills that you have, and mostly we have no power to stop it. And we do a lot of good things, but whatever the bad things happening from us, the bad means not just the conventional level of name. What I'm telling, for the profitable, unprofitable skills, when you do it out of your bodily, verbally, and mentally action, when the feedback come, it going to hurt you. It put it into a more hard, difficult, sad, worry, unhappy, dark situation. So it keep happening around us. Sometimes we don't have the power to stop it. So then remember, while you're doing good, be careful. There are certain things you should not do. Look into that. And once you're able to recognize, that also become a skill. That also become a profitable. So doing things become a profitable skill, and not doing things at the right moment also become a profitable skill. You recognize this moment I should not do this. That is the right moment to not to do things. There is a right moment you should do things with your bodily, verbally, mentally actions. There is a right moment you should not do things. So you have to master this both ways in day-to-day life. You can start with conventionally, even as a making a phone call. You can make a phone call to anybody. So it is okay. But while you're driving, that is a moment you should not do that. You can answer the phone anytime, you can answer it. But if you are eating, having a conversation, or maybe you working, or maybe you driving, that is a moment you should not do it. So this not doing at the right moment you have to develop as a skill. Averagely, when it comes to conventional life, we don't think about it. We neglect that part. We just have thoughts regarding this is not good, this is not good, like that. But there are very tiny moments in our life, maybe 1 second. In that 1 second, you should not do it. When you do it in that one moment, it's kind of like you empowering, ignite your whole samsaric journey. Remember, sometimes your whole samsaric journey, eons by eons, waiting for some demerits to activate. So as example, look at just apple, mango, or any fruits like coconut. Look at the coconut tree. It's a huge journey when you want to get a coconut, like a king coconut, like a young coconut to drink the water. It's a huge journey. 8 years, 9 years, it need to grow little by little, slow journey. And then it start with very tiny flower. And maybe, so many things can happen. Wind can blow and throw it away. And the many, bugs can come. Many birds can come, and, many that animals can eat it. But out of that all, it survive. Finally, it come to your hand. It's a huge journey. It is you cannot imagine how it can come to your hand to drink a young or king coconut. Oh, even when you get a apple or mango to eat to your hand, can you see that all the the journey, inside? It's kind of like a DNA code inherent inside that. So it is very rare that you gain this. It's only one moment, because once you eat it, once you have a bite, it's done. You cannot reverse it. Each and every moment like that in your life. Remember that. There are special moments come. It can happen in the profitable way. It can happen in profitable way also. So there are moments come to your life. Maybe it's eons by eons accumulate the merits. Accumulate. And then the 1 second of the moment come to fulfill that. It doesn't take, when it come to that moment, it doesn't take that much long time. Maybe 1 second, but if you miss that 1 second, and maybe it start to have another journey. And so demerits also the same. Things not going to happen at once. When I go to prison, sometimes I talk with this young young people and ask them how, and some people, and they have no idea how they became like that. And totally in their mind, they had a different view regarding the life and regarding their future. But there was a moment came and they didn't know they should not do that in that moment. Then what happened? It changed their whole life. It happened to us also. It happened to you also. So then the profitable skills mean there is some more things come that you have to do things, and there is a moment come that everything gather around you to do it, but that is the moment you should not do it. That is a profitable skill. So from today, start to develop that, empower that, rather than at the same time, all the good things you do, there are moments come. Maybe eating. Maybe there is a moment come you're going to have a drink. Maybe there is a moment come you want to go somewhere. That is the moment you should, that is the journey you should not take. That is the drink that you should not take. That is the meal that you should not eat. Why? Because that can end your life. That can, turn everything to different direction. That can, take your whole life up and down. It's a one moment of thought, but it has a current deeply, come moment by moment, moment by moment. So there are four ways. So before we go to that the first one is the kusalata. This is a skill that you have to develop. The right things at the same time, and there are certain things you should not do. That's also the right time. At the right time, you should not do things. At the right time, you should do things. Another one is arogyata. So kusalata, arogyata. Arogyata means the becoming healthy. So the becoming healthy means not just this physical health. That is not that much important things. Why? Because once you get out of the greed, hatred, and the delusion, your physical health going to be perfect, and you come with the longevity, and that you cannot gain something from outside. It's kind of like related to the karma. So, but when you get out, when you purify your mind from the greed, hatred, and the delusion, those are kind of like the virus. Greed, it it can spread faster than this coronavirus. Anger, it can spread, and even you have social distance, anger can spread. And the ignorance, this is a very dangerous virus. Look at the world, everywhere, how the ignorance go. It's so powerful. And once the ignorance have the validation in the society, that society going to to destroy, disappear. So then remember that those are that when it comes to arogyata means get out of the greed, hatred, and the delusion, and develop the greedlessness and hatelessness and the non-delusion. So when you develop that and you become healthy, that healthy means deeply you giving the medicine to this sansaric disease. And the the third one, niravajyata. So the niravajyata means you get into the right understanding or the right view, not going with the wrong view. You can have profitable skills, and at the same time you can be healthy, but at the same time if you hold it to the wrong view, and that way also not going to gain the final result to your life, as we look for the ultimate bliss of Nibbana. So Niravajyata means you come to the point to very clearly understand with the the suffering, or the dukkha. And what is the dukkha? You have to very clearly understand what is dukkha. Because without understanding what is dukkha or the what is suffering, how you can understand there is a reason for that? Because then you're going to find the wrong reason. That is what happening only. We think that the suffering means this physical suffering, mental suffering. No, suffering means change. It is not the physical suffering or mental suffering. We think, oh, the sansara is suffering. No, everything change. As a result of that, you gain happiness, you gain unhappiness. Otherwise, the life is suffering means life not it's in a conventional level of the meaning of suffering is not the life suffering, because there is something good also in life. People attach to that. People go with it, and the majority of people hold it to that. So then, what is the Buddha mean as a suffering? Suffering means change. What change? Everything change. When? All the time. Where? Everywhere. So that is what called suffering. Everything, all the time, everywhere. It keep changing, changing, changing. Once you understand that, you look for this, you look solutions for that. And you recognizing whatever you want to reach, whatever you want to achieve, you cannot be there. So then you slow down. Then you start to look for that the reason. And once you find out the reason and you start to follow that. So that is what you have to gain through this journey in life. So when it comes to that in deeply, when you have this kind of skills, what happening, there is an ability come to you. So you can separate your perception from your experience with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. And there are four kind of ways. You are inside neutral, the outside current keep happening to you. And once you recognize that, you can maintain it very easily. Sometimes outside neutral, but your inner old formation sanskara and developing, and then it start to go to outside. Once you see that you can maintain that also. So like when you start to dream something and you can have an illusion, and then there's nothing happen outside, you go with that. So once you see that there is something can happen from outside, inside neutral, and there is something can happen inside, outside neutral, and there are things happen outside, inside, the both. It match like the karma create the situation, like the when the Prince Siddhartha bought it exactly, the setup, the time, the mother, the place, so kind of like that. So there are things can not all the time. There are things happen to us, the outside world, the inner desire, the both match together. So those are moments you have to be mindful, and that is the moment that you have to recognize what you should not do and what you should do, because it keep happening in the samsara, and if you empower it, ignite it again and again, it keep going. And there are moments come outside neutral, inside neutral. So once you recognize that moment, that is the moment that you can come to the point to settle down yourself, get into the tranquility state in that very moment, and get out of the five hindrance, and then go to the vipassana level and deeply observe how things happening moment by moment and recognize the change. And in that very moment, you can get out of this circle. So it always not going to happen. There's a moment in your life, outside neutral, inside neutral, 1 second. There are things can happen outside, activate, inside neutral, inside activate, outside neutral, Inside, outside, both activate. There are moments in your life, inside going to be completely neutral, outside going to be completely neutral. So it's a because of your practice it happens. Itself it's not going to happen. By practicing you it will happen. Outside neutral, inside neutral. In that very moment, you can enter to the liberation. And transformation will happen. The ultimate of the bliss of the Nibbana you can experience. So that's why keep keep focused to that and be aware about it. If the chance is there, remember, zero tolerance. Forget about everything. Just enter to that. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life during this time period. May everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavatantarayo Sukhi diga yuko bhava ettavata chamni sampadang punya sampadang Sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya idam me punya kammang Asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.